Hey everybody, we are here today with a nail shaping video. So these are my natural nails and look at the growth I have had just from dipping and using my nail guards. So we're going to get into a little bit of shaping. So here's what you're going to need. A standard nail file and a variety of buffing blocks from coarse to gentle. Whatever you have will work fine. You don't need to get too fancy with it. And then these are the nail guards that I use. If you have not seen my video on nail guards, then I will definitely put that up for you. They come in a 3-pack and they're my easiest way of dip, prep, and removal. So I will link that down below and let's get to shaping. So here's what my shape looks like now, and I do have a little bit of damage to my natural nail just from beginning dipping and not knowing what I was doing. I've already pushed back my cuticles. I used a cuticle nipper just to trim off any excess cuticle and dry skin, and so that's what my cuticles look like. And we are going to get into the actual shaping. So typically I don't trim my nails often, but in the case of these two nails, they were much longer than the rest. So I'm just trimming off a little bit of that excess so that they can be similar to the same length. And so I'm just trimming off a little bit there. And then we're going to get into the actual shaping part here. So I've already started a little bit just so I can show you here. This is what we're trying to do, is create a bit of a slant instead of the natural curve that I have. So I like a little bit of a coffin shape, nothing too striking, but I do like to pull the edges in a little bit. I just feel like it makes the overall nail look uniform and the shape is just so classy. So you're going to take your file. You can see I'm going in just one direction here. You do want to try to avoid sawing back and forth because that is what will kind of shred and damage your nail. Try to resist. You will see me do it a couple times in this video, and when I catch myself, I'm like, all right. As you start to go in that line, your nail file will kind of jump around a little bit because you're trying to create a slant on something that is straight. But once you start to get that slant shape, it will start to go a lot smoother like it is now. So here's what I have so far. You can see I've taken in the sides a little bit, and then I just straight across on that edge, and I try not to go on that edge with the harsh file often. Then I go with my buffing block, and here's where I'll go ahead and just smooth out the sides and the edges. And this is a very gentle buffing block since I do have a little bit of damage to my natural nail and then I've got the healthy growth coming in. I'm just going to go ahead and buff that damaged area just slightly. And there's a difference in shape. So let's get into these long nails. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start at the edge here. And you see that file kind of jumping around. That's all right. It's going to do that a little bit. You're just going to keep kind of angling that file. If you have a longer nail like this one, you might want to start at the very tip like I did. Start to get that edge off and then slowly start bringing that in. So here I go. I'm at the tip there. I'm just finding that angle that I want, and I'm slowly just taking off that straight edge to create that angled edge. Sometimes it's easier to point your hand towards you and use the file to angle in that way. And then I'll take my buffing block, and that's when I'll smooth out those edges, and that's where I will smooth out the tip. I'm taking a very, very gentle buffer here and just buffing the whole top of my nail. And again, I don't do this often, just when I shape my nails, which is really once every month or two. And there we have it. Now we're going on to the next nail, same thing, starting in with that angle, going in one direction, just taking my time here. You can take your cuticle nippers and you can nip off that angle, but I don't prefer to do it that way because it's too easy to take too much off and then I have just too harsh of a line. I like to just take my file and slowly get that angle that I want. You know, you can always take more off. You can't put it back on. So I'm smoothing the edges again with my buffing block. This is just a standard grit buffing block. I get them in bulk off Amazon. You know, nothing fancy. Use what you have. And then this very, very gentle buffer that I'm doing the very, very, very tops with. And you do not have to do this step. This is just something I'm doing this time, again, because I had a little bit of damage on the top of my nails that I'm trying to buff away. And I've got new growth coming in and old growth growing out. And now that I know how to care for my nails properly, I can make sure that that doesn't happen again. I'm going to go in on one last nail here and show you the shaping one more time. This was a very curvy nail. So I'm starting again just to get in that direction down. One way, one direction, kind of slicing away at that angle. So as you watch me do that, I'll kind of tell you, I don't know if you can see that half moon curve at the top of my cuticle on all of my nails where the new growth is coming in. And you can see the line between the new growth and the old kind of damaged area if you look. That's because when I first started dipping, I had an e-file and I used the e-file on my natural nails, just not knowing any better. So kind of messed them up a little bit. My nails have gotten pretty thin from that, but as they're starting to grow out and I'm taking good care of them, they're getting long and strong, and the dip powder really does help. So I also stopped using acetone and I use the nail guards now, and that has been a game changer for me. So if you haven't tried nail guards, that's definitely something you want to look into. So I'll link all that info below for you. So I just cleaned it up with my buffer, and then I'm taking my gentle buffer just on the very top of the nail again. And there we have it. And I'm looking at the shape here, deciding that I do want to take it in just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back in with my file and just continue to kind of slice away at that angle until I get the angle that I want. And you can see my peely jar underneath there. Those are all the peelies that I've popped off using my nail guards. They're just so easy. I love them, and I keep them in a little jar so I can admire my past manis. So I'm just going to continue the same process, slicing away at that edge until I get that angle that I want. You can take this in as sharp or as not sharp, as straight as you would like. You know, it's all personal preference. Do it to what fits your nail shape and what you like. I'm going to clean up the rest, and I'm going to do my pinky nail off camera here. So now you see me finishing that pinky nail, and my hand is done. So I'm taking just a little brush and getting all that excess dust off. And here's a comparison. Before, after. How nice and shaped they are. Looks so good. All right, so here we have both hands done and shaped. And this is where I will just go back in, get any of those little pieces that are hanging off, taken care of. I like to use a buffing block for that. Always go more gentle if you're not sure. Avoid harsh files and, God forbid, e-files on your natural nails because they're just too harsh. This is also the time if you see any shaping that needs to be fixed up, you can go back in with your buffing tool or your file and just finish up any little spots that aren't perfect. Get them where you like them, and this is where I'm at. So full, just natural nails, shaped, nothing else done, cuticles cared for. That's what we have. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. Check out some of my other videos. I'll link them in the description box. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.